So Goo, what the winner of the first coaching session doesn't have a mic set up right now because he just moved into his current place. What we're going to be doing instead of doing a coaching session is I'm going to do a replay analysis of it. I don't know anything about this game. I don't know what hero he's playing. I don't know what team wins or what team loses. I don't know any context at all. I'm going to be going into this game just looking objectively and commentating about positioning, item mechanics, and everything else like that. So this should prove to be a pretty interesting game, and yeah, just gonna jump into it now. Zeus. So he's starting up with a Zeus from the Radiant, followed up by an anti-mage on the Dire. Now, just to give people a reminder, this is coming out of approximately 700 MMR student, and the student that we're going to be watching this game is going to be Dickfold, right here. I don't know what he's going to be playing. I don't know any context, but it should prove to be an interesting game with some hopefully strong analysis coming out of it. I'm going to take off the music now because I completely forgot. So we'll get all up in the Doto noises. Alchemist coming up for the Radiant. I'm not going to really go big into the detail of the nonsense with the heroes that are getting picked up on each team, and why they're good or bad or that sort of stuff, because I don't really know how much potential rhyme or reason there really is going on here. Okay.
Axe.
Axe. Give me an axe. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. 700 MMR Doto. No rhyme or reason. Okay, so we got that looked like a random Shadow Demon into a Elder Titan repick. Yeah. Alright, so the chat box is confirming that for me. Waiting for the Juggernaut pick? Yeah. Who knows? So in my head right now, if everyone's around like that same sort of skill level, we should prove that Pudge will either be completely in Banana Town, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the Alchemist stun is a really good setup for Pudge. Nyx Assassin's a pretty good counter for the Zeus, and Bane should be able to keep both of those guys on their toes. Axe is pretty irritating once he gets online, and he should fare relatively well against the Pudge and even the Alchemist. After he gets a pipe online, he'll be okay against Zeus. Anti-Mage should perform relatively well in this entire game as long as he's not extremely incompetent. So in this sort of position, knowing that you're not going to have any support, and if you were looking at playing a support, I think Rubik could have been really strong here. If you were looking to play a support, a lot of fun spells that you could have stolen, and just the passive added spell immunity for your team would be really fun. And especially if you were around the anti-mage, then you most certainly wouldn't. Okay, watch from. All right, I'm gonna be watching from your player perspective. You most certainly would keep that anti-mage alive, at least when it came to magic damage. So Razor's I'm watching from the player perspective of Razor, so I'm going to be looking at whatever he's looking at, just to try and give an overview in the first-person perspective here. So I can kind of guess that he's going to be trying to go mid here, based on his build. I don't know what the Death Prophet's doing per se. She hasn't really rolled out with anything. I would have probably waited to skill up my first spell, just because although Static Link is going to be a strong thing if you're assuming that you're going to be in a one-on-one situation, there is the possibility of wanting to put your point in Plasma Field in the early phase, just to guarantee that you can get a couple last hits in the beginning, or a little bit earlier than you normally would, so you can get that quick bottle. It's good that you're checking what your allies have here for your for their items, and it's good that you're paying attention to that, but you just took a lot of damage from that acid spray. But they're underestimating your damage here. You're not going to be able to finish it off. 295 move speed, you need Nyx to hit his thing. So then you should have been able to turn around and go on this Elder Titan really easily and still get a kill. You were positioned in front of the Elder Titan, so you very well should have been able to clean that up. And now you dove on the tower because you were overestimating what you were able to do in terms of finishing them. So you're taking damage from the tower and then multiple people at a time. So that was a really, really hard overextension, so that you really shouldn't have done. So sitting in that acid spray for a long period of time was a pretty bad idea. You were taking a lot of damage, and the negative armor on you, at least in the early levels, is pretty annoying. And it looks like right now you're going up against a Pudge. Zeus appears, at least on the minimap, that he's going to be rotating to the top lane. Biggest thing is going to be positioning when it comes to going against a Pudge. You're going to want to make sure that you are always having creeps between you and him. You're correct, Mighty Mouse. You could see that he was salving up. So then extending even further to go on the tower was really a dangerous play to do, and he didn't have the proper damage to do it. Alright, so he's got 760 gold. If he was planning on going a bottle first, he should have already had that purchased and on the way. What I like to do, especially in the early game phase, if I know that there's going to be an item that I'm going to want to get, I'm going to hold down Shift, I'm going to click on that item, and I'm going to put it in my quick buy, or at least that's what it is by default. Good that he's using the courier hotkey to bring it over to him. Now, when you use the static link as a Razor against a Pudge, you want to try and be as close as possible before you start to do that static link. Ideally with creeps between you both still, also. Now, his positioning right now is pretty bad. If the Pudge was just standing on like the cliff over here, then he could easily have gotten a hook. Now, here's a mistake. He has a full bottle, and he goes to rotate to the bottom rune. Because he has that full bottle, and then he goes to the bottom rune, he's actually wasting time. He's using this time not collecting gold. He's using this time not collecting experience. He wasted all that time with a full bottle to go get a rune and to refill up to maintain having a full bottle. So that was probably around 40 seconds of time wasted where he wasn't able to go get that. Popped his regen rune a little bit too close. Now, he should be trying to do something called orb walking, where you walk a little bit, attack. Walk a little bit, attack. And that does require a little bit of practice, but that by itself could very easily finish off this Pudge here. We see Death Prophet rotating in, and oh, Anti-Mage was paying attention, and he TP'd in on the middle tower and was able to clean that up. So now I understand that Unstable Current gives you a little bit of bonus move speed, and there's that slow if they do a spell that right-click on you. But you're going against a Pudge in a one-on-one situation right now, so this is only giving you movement speed, which, you know, is great, but get boots for that. It's much better. You know, that percentage is going to be so negligible that it would be better to be putting your points in plasma field and a static link.
Radiant structures are
Now,
fortified. Dire's top
whether or
tower
not
is
you
being
heard
attacked.
that the Pudge rotated in or not, I can't say. You can see him on the minimap, but you definitely know he's there now. So you want to be watching your positioning even more. You are going very high up in the creep wave, being aggressive all the way out into like this area. If the Pudge had more competency, he could have very easily hooked you under tower, and you would have been stuck and maybe you've even died.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
In a one-on-one situation, Razor should win against Pudge pretty much uncontested. So now, he had 2 charges left on his bottle. Chose to use that time to go bottom and get the rune instead. What you want to try and do is be aggressive to the point where you're able to use that bottle to heal yourself up, and you're abusing the fact that they don't have that much regeneration and sustain, so then you're able to go back in after pushing them back, after you're lowing down, you use the bottle to heal yourself up and assert your dominance even more by securing the rune. That's really where the glory of the bottle comes from. So again, I'm watching from your player perspective, so this is what you see right now, okay? The bad thing about how you're watching the screen is that you can't see if... You want to be able to see as much ahead of you as possible, especially if you're going against a Pudge. So your player perspective is over here. You ideally would want to be looking in like this sort of area on the minimap, if you can see with my cursor, on the screen. So even though you can see yourself safely back here, you want to be watching the minimap even more. So the Pudge has been missing for a little bit. He doesn't know where Pudge is. His team doesn't know where Pudge is. Calling missing for the Pudge is just something that I would have expected as a courtesy at this point. Again, so Pudge is still missing. We're at 6.5 minutes now, so Pudge has been missing for almost a minute. No call. So now we have Pudge return to the lane in middle. So no harm done from the lack of call. Now, I'm not going to comment on like the mechanical sense of him missing last hits or something like that, because he knows that. That's just, putting gasoline on a fire. That really doesn't need to be said. If it's a mechanical thing, that's something that you practice. I'm going to be trying to be pointing out things that are not so much as mechanical, but operational. I guess that makes sense. Invisibility. Okay, so that could have been a very strong play. With the static link and the invisibility, it still keeps going, so you could have tried to go a little bit up on the high ground and take a little bit more damage. If you know the range of the tower, then you can abuse that even more. There's a good rule of thumb that this plant right here is like the range, the furthest range that the tower will see, and then there would be like a gradual arc around it. So it would probably go like around in like this sort of area. And that's just something that you learn over time. Although there are reference charts that you can see for that sort of stuff.
Is being attacked.
Yeah, double hex, that's a pretty strong way to look at it. And you grab the tower. Or excuse me, if you're pushing the lane, you grab it with the rune. So this is good that he was able to go and get the top rune. Especially since Pudge was going for that one as well. A question. These phase boots are very curious. You have a bottle for regeneration. You don't need tranquil boots. Phase boots are usually the go-to with Razor. That way you're able to keep up with them and keep that static link on. The phase boots allow you to walk through your creep waves and the enemy creep waves, which is very beneficial when you're in fights, because you need to make sure that you're able to stay on top of people as much as possible. Yeah, phase boots are pretty much the go-to for Razor. So, I mean, Pudge has been missing for a little bit. He could be a good person and do an MIA call. I would want to be a little bit more precarious with my positioning. The only place that I would really be worried about is if Pudge was like in the bushes right here on the minimap by the tower, because that could then be problematic. So, Pudge still missing off the minimap, off the main map. Looks like he's getting a stout shield now. Okay, so you can see at least... No, you can see on the minimap that Pudge flashed in. Maybe you can. I don't know. It's weird when you see it. Okay, you can definitely see it now. But the thing is, even though he... so I can't necessarily assume that he's looking at the minimap because that's what's going on in his head and his mind, what he's looking at. But we do know that he didn't look on his screen to see that the Pudge came in. We know that he didn't look to see what items that he was getting as well. Now, one thing that I want to comment in regard to this static link right here is he hasn't been in a position where he has been close enough consistently long enough to be able to go long enough static link off to do substantial damage. If you find that you're going to be in a position like that and you won't be able to get the link up, put points in Plasma Field. You can at least use Plasma Field to get extra damage in, and you can at least use that to secure last hits. If you're in a situation where you're going to be going against a Pudge, especially like this, it might be better to go in like a... and keep them relatively even. Because if he's staying back, just absorbing experience, and just trying to hook people in, then he'll be able to be pretty damaging. Again, uses a static link, has an invisibility rune, uses his ultimate even, and he runs away. Breaks the invisibility rune right now.
Let's get intimate.
He got hooked and it moved, and he still didn't move his screen positioning. So screen placement is really important. Looking and just seeing and being aware of your surroundings is really what I'm trying to stress here. So, like, we can see that, you know, Nyx just got hooked under tower. We know this by looking at the minimap. He's kind of just wandering around. I don't know what's in his head for what he was thinking about doing here. It looks like he's probably going to go for the bottom rune. Now, if he really wanted to try and maximize that time, when it was around like the 50-second mark, he could have been stacking the Ancient's camp since he was standing right over there, and then he could have gone to get the rune, and then he could have came back to the lane. Again, making the best of the situation, whereas he shouldn't necessarily have been waiting down there for so long. But the Tranquility Boots did allow him to stay in the lane and heal. I mean, if you're watching the minimap a lot, that's great, but you need to be clicking through the minimap and absorbing the information a little bit more. So you have yet to check Pudge's items, to check Bane's items, to check Alchemist's items, to check Elder Titan's items. Oh, here we go, it happened. You just checked ETs. Looks like you're about to check Pudge. I'm assuming you checked Pudge. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you checked Pudge. Yeah, you're on Pudge right now.
Once again,
Digital Sports.
Oh, and then he's just counter-warded. So you know that Pudge is there.
being attacked.
So a better position of an Observer Ward, especially on the left side, would be to put her on the high ground. So that would be up on the higher tier, up where the Ancients are, at least up on the ramp. Pudge put his Sentry Ward on the low ground, and he didn't even go up to the high ground to look. So he was able to de-ward it relatively easily that way. Okay, Axe is running in, doing some damage. Good stuff. We can see that you're pinging out Pudge's location for the team. That's great. Dude gets hooked anyway.
Flashmate.
So the minute that you get that static link, you want to continue to just run in up on them. So I know you're going for a Vanguard now because you have the Stout Shield and, you know, the Vitality Booster. Which isn't really that strong of an item anymore. Bane bought back. You should immediately get back if that's the case. Alchemist stun channeled and didn't go anywhere. We can hear the Elder Titan ult, but we didn't see it or look for it. Stevens, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Grateful.
Let me know if you have any questions about what's going on. I'm trying to be as insightful as possible. Yeah, Double Hex, how I'm doing it is between games, I put up a raffle prompt, type !raffle. I give it like 15 minutes, maybe less, maybe more, depending on what's going on. And I draw, and boom, coaching immediately, that second. Works pretty well to keep things timely. In the past, I was doing it whereas I was doing it scheduling, and then people would be late, and people would be early, and people would mess up time zones, and I would end up waiting for a half hour or 40 minutes sometimes because I didn't want to be late for the next person. Okay, so static link will stay static, or will stay linked to them if they transfer into Invis. So you could have actually kept chasing him, and you would have known where the position was. It doesn't break it. Yeah, Mighty Mouse. I mean, self-replay analysis is great. That will make you be a better player. I absolutely advocate doing it. Yeah, Silico Sound. If we have enough people at the end of the night, I will do an in-house every night as a follow-up. I'll try to have it so that we have like a roughly 4K MMR player on both teams, and we'll do like either a captain's mode or a captain's draft probably in most situations. So there's going to be a little bit more congruity to it, and for the future I'll have it so that I direct the team much more.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
And I'll have the other player do the same. That way it would be taking a lot of players out of their comfort zone, playing a little bit differently, maybe doing a little bit different strategy, playing heroes that they may be uncomfortable with or new, and I think that'll be a really nice way to take a lot of people that are coming here looking for coaching to be at least a little bit pulled out of their comfort zone.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Okay, you want to rewind? Right before this fight. This might be too far back. Yeah, Goo, I'll play something that's much more like a core, and I'll direct the team much more so that I'm playing in an impactful way, because the way that we did it last time made it a little bit unfortunate because I wasn't able to come online, and I needed to get my levels, and I needed to be able to do that. Zayal, it really depends on how the night goes. We need to have enough people in here so that we can know that we can fill immediately. And I would say that the in-house will usually be after like the second or the third coaching session. Kind of depends right there. Okay, so we have the static link. Static link should be the first thing that you're doing. His level 1 plasma field does so little damage that honestly you shouldn't even use it, because that's a lot of mana that you could be conserving for yourself. I think you could have been a little bit more aggressive here. I'm gonna rewind that again.
Radiant's
I'm taking a player perspective.
back to the indecipherable gibberish. Once again,
Digital
okay, so he already has his ultimate popped. Ult goes down. Right here. Boom. Stun. Static Link should have already been off. He's doing some good right-click damage on him, but the movement forward and then the right-clicks again, he should have been able to get more damage off before all of that happened. Honestly, you should have been able to kill ET before the ult and before the stomp. That would have allowed you to respond much better to the rest of the things that happened at the end of the fight. You would have had a little bit more HP. You maybe could have had the fight go a little bit longer. So, leveling up your plasma field now at this point... I mean... Alright, you put in your passive. I don't know. I would have just had it done it almost like a 4-4-2 sort of build. Or just build it up like that way.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Well, CC Flower, we're going to do another drawing after this one, and we're going to do more coaching. Mighty Mouse! If I knew the theme song, I would chant it right now. But thank you for the follow. So on the minimap, you can see that your team's getting hooked and getting messed up. And you still haven't watched to see what's going on. So when you see groups of the enemy on the minimap, that is a pretty big flag to at least look and see what's going on. That right there, you saw the stomp happening, you saw it all starting, and there really wasn't anything you could do to help him there. Okay, at this point, you're just by yourself. And now you're actually backing a little bit further than you need to. They do have some really gay synergy on their team. Bane set up for Elder Titan or Pudge or Alk, but they're not gonna land it with that sort of fluidity, and most likely.
We'll take that.
Last night we did some good giveaways. Always a noob one. I don't know if she's still in chat. Raffle is a little bit later. I'll put up a prompt on the screen for when we do the drawing for the coaching. So you should be using this idle time to be trying to farm anything. You've got a full bottle, you could be farming the jungle. Death Prophet's popping her ultimate, so you should in theory be trying to just commit on this. There's a lot of people not farming places that could be farms. By that I mean top lane, bottom lane. Everyone's just kind of doing this Mexican standoff in the middle lane right now. Pretty funny. There's so much disorganization. There's no one focusing on anything. Everyone's just kind of running around like this. Then we get the ET ult that everyone stays in. Alright, we're at least gonna finish that cleanup there. Whew, jeez.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
Alright, cool. Another kill. Good stuff. So what you should be doing right here is applying pressure on the tower. Pushing your advantage. Yes, you took the tier 1 mid. You still got 4 up. Strong push potential. And we're just all kind of wandering back. Now, you're wandering back even harder than you should be. You're going back to the secret shop to get nothing. Coming back to the middle lane, just because you started in the middle lane, doesn't mean that you need to still be there in the 19 minutes. So maybe you're playing morally with the idea of whether or not you should go back and wait for the creep wave. So your screen positioning here, this is what you are looking at. This is not me clicked on this spot of the screen. I don't think you have visually looked at the top lane once. I mean, you may be looking at it on the mini-map, but further than that, really. In the same sort of sense, you haven't checked a lot of your allies' items lately. Kind of important. Yeah, you're still here farming mid. There's a lot of farm potential to be elsewhere. The only thing that your team should be doing in mid is being responsive. You should have someone there who's lower level, trying to farm up like the gold and experience, more the experience than anything. and you should be responsive to the enemy team trying to push in your mid tower. You should be going to the side lanes and pushing those out. You should be acquiring farm in other locations. I think these Shank boots are almost doing you more harm than good at this point.
Under fire.
It's fine that you're looking at the mini-map, but you need to actually look at it as well. I promise you it'll help you do wonders. Checking enemy items consistently and even checking your allied items consistently. You don't know how much damage has been done to the top tower. You don't know how much damage has done to the bottom tower, the enemy tower. Okay, static link on the Alchemist is good because he's going to sit in the fight and try to do a lot of damage. You try to get as much of your stuff off as possible. What you would really want to be looking in that sort of thing is static linking on the Huskar and then, or excuse me, static linking on the Alchemist, then right clicking on the Zeus. So you're killing the Zeus with the Alchemist's damage. Alchemist won't be able to do anything because you're stealing all of his stuff, and he's going to stay in the fight because he has the regeneration property on him. So you're stealing the damage from the Alchemist, you're taking out the Zeus, and then you're going back for the Alchemist.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
Ghost, thank you for the follow, and Double Hex, hit me with the double whammy. Thank you for the follow, sir.
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
Fresh mate.
Othiam, the UI that the HUD that I am using, Enzite 2 is now following. We've got all sorts of hype up in here. The HUD I am using, I think it's like the crystal. Okay, yeah, I think it's one from Dota Cinema. We got the Dota Cinema dude here.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
Ah, lovely.
Okay, so it's good that, you know, Razor's off in the jungle farming a little bit now.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
I don't know why he's using his ultimate. His ultimate has a pretty long cooldown, so you want to kind of conserve that for team fights. Unless he's not anticipating to have a team fight in another 70
Radiant's
seconds.
top tower is under siege.
Another thing, if you're only going to put 1 point in your ultimate,
Radiant's top tower is being
then
attacked.
get it at like level
Radiant's
level
top
9 or
tower is
10.
fallen.
Especially, you know, you're level 13. That Razor ultimate is so strong. The strike interval improves, the damage improves. Got to get that at level 11. It's really big. Your passive can wait. I think the Aghanims on Razor can be very strong if you're doing like a tower pushing lineup and you're actually being aggressive on it. The negative armor is... Oh, what the hell? Oh, man. Okay, that's not a good ward. It would have been better to put your ward up there again. If you're going to put anything in this sort of area... I'm going to switch to free camera for a second. If you're going to put anything in this area... I mean, up here will give good vision. Up here will give good vision. I never like using that ward, but it will give good vision. The vision that it's going to give you is going to be pretty much what you see here.
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
This ward doesn't really show that much. So try to look for big open areas
Dire's bottom tower
that are
under
on the
fire.
top, that don't have a lot of trees blocking the
Look
view.
at how invulnerable Dire's towers are.
Alright, now I'm going to go back to your perspective. You're also using the same general ward locations every time. I know that you probably put this ward a little bit further up just because you were worried about them counter-warding it again. But that spot just doesn't really give you any vision. If you're thinking about being aggressive, put her on their Ancients. If you're thinking about being defensive, you put her on your side. It's good that you're buying wards at least, because you're the only person that's getting wards. Alright, you got your second level on your ultimate at 14. Cool. Cool. I'm sure you did that just because all your other spells were leveled up all the way. But, take the getting their cooldown reduced as like a big consideration for whether or not you should level it up earlier. If your team's going to be looking to at least hopefully, or at least in theory, fight, get that ultimate up as soon as possible. You having the Yasha and then getting a Sanj being brought to you now is kind of making the implication, at least to me, that you're going to build a Sanj and Yasha, which is a fine item for a Razor. I think with the amount of damage and fallout that's coming out on the other team, a BKB would be a strong choice if you had a Phase Boots already. Because the Phase Boots will give you that extra damage that you really need as a hero. You're relying right now pretty much exclusively on your static link to getting more damage. And if the Trank Boots break, you lose that movement speed to really stay on top of the enemy to keep it coming. Yes. You know, if you are able to corral your team and take out the enemy team, then do it. Because think of it this way. If you're going in with the mentality that your team isn't gonna team fight, the other team could too. And if you're able to get your whole team to follow you, even it's a little bit, you know, to get a little bit of coordination, that's more coordination that you have against the enemy team, and that is a giant advantage. Hey, I mean, you can always try. You can use pings. You can draw on the minimap. A good way for trying to organize a team fight for like a character like Razor, if you want to do non-verbal communication. Wow, you left the Razor thing up this whole time for items. If you want to do non-verbal communication of what you would want to do, you can Alt left click your ability, and then do the Alt Control ping, which is the X. So you're symbolizing then by those pings that you have it, it's ready, and you want to attack over there with it. That's a non-verbal way that you can try and communicate that to your team.
Dire's top tower is under siege. Dire's top tower is destroyed.
Dominating. Ownage.
Mr. Benny.
Dire's bottom tower under fire.
Alright, so let's look at the net worth compared to the enemy team.
Here.
So you're sitting pretty at the top right now.
Dire's bottom tower
I mean, Alchemist is going to be able to make a comeback because he's Alchemist. But the rest of your team's really sitting in a poor spot.
Under fire.
Your last hits, at least compared to your team, are pretty strong. You're staying up and doing movements to try and kill people. Are you gonna find him? Oh, nice.
Dire's bottom tower under Dire's bottom tower is in pieces.
Zeus bought a refresher and used it right there to ult him.
Dire's middle tower taking damage.
Zeus also bought refresher as his first item.
Has fallen.
Yes! That is a sick build. Okay, so right now you're going back to the well, and I don't know why. You should still be farming. They've got 2 down. If you're going back to refill your bottle, then you're going back for the wrong reasons. You could have right there purchased a TP, rotated down there, and been there already to start this fight off. Oh no! So you can use your Q to break that nightmare. It looked like you went to just try and right-click attack him.
Dire's top tower
No! Okay, good. Oh no! Slept. Okay.
Dire's top tower is under siege.
Yeah, it's a magic spell. Think of it that way. Anything that is a magic spell will break Nightmare, on enemies. If it's a physical attack, then you know, you're gonna make yourself go to sleep. So you use magic spells to break Nightmare. That's why it's such a good follow-up for Bane. Bane casts Nightmare on an enemy. Alchemist can sit right next to the enemy, charge up his unstable concoction, and then throw it right as the guy is about to wake up. Or you can use it to make him wake up immediately. But then he'll be stunned. If you're doing physical damage while he's in Nightmare, you will be put to
Dire's middle
sleep.
tower is being attacked.
Your allies can do the nice thing and steal the Nightmare away from you,
Dire's middle tower taking
which sometimes you want to
damage.
do. But sometimes you want to let the other team try and fuss with it. Whatever, you misclick to all chat, but the only thing that would have told me if I was on the other enemy team is that you had a ward up there. So you guys have some good wards right now. You're able to see them doing everything. Ja 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 ja. It's pretty funny. Okay. You're using your ultimate a little bit prematurely. You want to try and use that as close as possible to the actual fight. And you're just kind of getting locked down here.
Radiant's
You're not
top
even
tower
watching
is being
you.
Double kill.
See, you just blindly ran away.
Radiant has
You could
lost
have
their
maybe
top tower.
wiggled your. You maybe could have had to have been put yourself in a position where you were, you know, wiggling around in the trees and stuff. Yeah, I know that you're the only one buying wards, and you know it's good that your team has at least a little bit of vision. What does this Animage have? 32-minute Yasha Ring of Health.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
Success! Farming creeps at their tower instead of
Radiant's
trying to
top
get
tower is under
tower
siege.
damage on. He can see Bane rotating on the minimap. Doesn't mean he's going to do anything. Alk's TPing in. Is Alk going to get that stun off on through the minimap? Nah, they're not going to get. They're just chasing.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
I wish I could be as good as this Animage.
And good are linked.
Okay, so let's talk about this ward. By placing the ward right there, you're immediately blocked by those two trees. A better ward spot would be right there. Or, right there. Oh, I guess a little bit more to the left. So if you have it over here, then you get the vision over here, you get the vision over here, and then a little bit over here and down here. Or if you were to put it on this tower, then, you know, you would show vision back there. Okay, there's a fight about to break out. You used your ultimate, static link on the Elder Titan. Now, this lightning coming out, that, or the, you should have ran, like, in the opposite direction.
Dominating.
With your ultimate up, you want to try and linger as close to fights as possible.
Kill.
But good cleanup as an overall.
Not be kind.
Alright, back to player perspective. Look at this! 3 guys farming a large camp. If you see that sort of bullshit happening, you might as well just leave. I mean, you can linger for the experience if you really need it, but don't. Kind of wasting your time. Don't fight your team for farm. Just go find your own farm. If 3 people want to farm a large camp together, go find your own farm. So let's talk about this ward. I don't know if you placed that one or not, but a better ward than this would be one for right here. So you put it in this region, and then it shows like all of this on the minimap. And it wouldn't block your camp. As long as you do it to the left of the right pedestal. And I'm hoping that Noob linked something related to wards in chat. I did see a link go out. I didn't have the opportunity to check it. Okay, so you got a Deso, we got more negative armor. Negative armor is always cool. Hey, the only way to get better about playing ranked is playing ranked. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's a great ward map. Oh wait, that's an old one. That one, okay, it's almost really good. It's almost a good ward map. It has the Roshan pit in the wrong spot.
Double damage.
You should have fought him. The only thing that would make me not want to is the fact that you have no vision. He's chasing after you with a DD though. You can steal all of that damage if he stays up on you. Pop your ultimate if you really wanted to secure it real quick. And then just kill. So you're using a lot of mana here. And you may not be able to get it fill up. On the mini-map, we can see, we know this is going on the mini-map. It's good that you finally acknowledged it. You should be like viciously pinging or something to try and get your team to come in here. Because if it's only you two, then you're kind of fucked. And that's what happened. Damn.
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
Well, the first thing that I would suggest with your build here
Dire's structures
is
are fortified.
not having Trank Boots, and to get a Phase Boot. Potentially an Aquila as well, depending on how the game is going. If you need a little bit of that extra armor and that passive mana regeneration, so often getting an Aquila. Vanguard is good if you're going up against a lot of right-click. When the only real right-click that's coming out of the enemy team is going to be the Alchemist, it's much more magic damage that's coming out.
Fortified their towers. Roshan and the Radiant have resolved their Radiant's top tower is under siege.
Oh, do we get to watch him report them too? Woo! We do! Awesome.
Radiant's top
I like
tower
this.
is being
I
attacked.
like this. Okay, so it isn't showing me. It doesn't show me your pings. Okay. They're reported. I mean, that it really does suck that they're just sitting in the base like that. Just keep farming. Just keep farming. Just keep farming. Just keep farming. When in doubt, just keep farming. Just keep farming. You know, you're at the top of the chart. Just keep farming. There's a big push coming in the top lane. You know, let those two guys just keep sitting in the base. You just keep farming. Focus on farming and farming and farming. Should be an easy kill. Good stuff. Alchemist was just kind of being dumb. And then just go back to keep farming. Dickfold, if you always have yourself farming, then you will be in a good spot. I don't know if that ward blocks your large camp or not. I think it might. Not bad vision though, but not the type of vision you need. See, those 4 wards, you're not getting a lot of value out of the amount of map that you can see based on where they're placed. With a little bit better positioning by studying some of the warding guides that are available, you'll be much stronger at warding in the future for sure. Now I'm curious what in your head you're thinking that you're going to do for your next item progression. I know you're kind of just being more frustrated that the Anti-Mage and Death Prophet are still sitting in the base. But, you know, just when in doubt, just keep farming. Hey, Super Cop, how you doing today, man? Alright, you finally sold your bottle. Do you ever upgrade out of these trank boots? The trank boots are just hurting you so much at this point. Boom! DP abandoned. Just sucks that, you know, you'll still get the abandon. Or, excuse me, you can't just leave, because then you'll just get a loss. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20. So you're thinking butterfly, but then you got a demon edge. Where'd that ward? Did you just place that ward? Oh boy, that one blocks your own camp. This ward, I don't
Invisibility.
know what's going on with that one. Really? Yeah. Great to hear that you're taking away some interesting information, Super Cop. That's exactly what this is here for. So you got a lot of damage stolen. Oh no. The ults! The ults! And you're dead. I think a BKB would have been an item that you would have wanted a lot earlier in this game. As long as Bane ults someone else. If a 1v5 is tough, don't let it be a 1v5. Stay split, stay farming, take pickoffs. If they're not gonna push, farm and take pickoffs. If they're staying 5-man, then farm and push lanes that they aren't in. Alright, so it looks like you're going dataless here. Yeah, warding guides can be very helpful for playing. At least you're watching the things going on.
Dire have fortified their towers.
Dead. Dude is letting that happen.
Kill.
He didn't even move.
Being attacked.
Oh god. Alright, Anti-Mage! Anti-Mage might get a Battle Fury.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
Nyx has a Dagon, but he has another Null Talisman. What's he doing? Buying another level 1 Dagon? I think he might be. You know, in this sort of game, if you were if you had some good positioning consistently, just go Divine Rapier every game. Just make smart decisions. That could be funny. Get a heart to ass Divine Rapier and just try and whack people. Alright, you can see that he's charging. Oh, I really wish you had gotten a BKB earlier in this game. Okay, that's when you should go in. You know, the concoction's down. As soon as you know that he misses his stun, that's when you go in and try and find him and murder him as quickly as possible. So you should have been trying to kill the Bane right there so that he would stop gripping your friend. If the team is going to run away and leave the Bane to just grip that guy by himself, kill the Bane first. You could have maybe saved someone. Although you running up there is just kind of murdering them all. Good play there.
Ultra kill.
Ultra kill! Well done. and a convenient regen rune. The Dota gods have spoken and said,
Radiant's bottom tower is
Ultra
being
kill and
attacked.
regen rune. That is what the Dota gods said. You should have waited for your regen rune to be a little bit more before you were gonna go in, but whatever, he's dead anyway.
Mega kill.
Man, these guys just like let that happen. The fact that you have Trank Boots still at 46 minutes is... it's pain. It's pain. Ooh. Shots fired.
Dire's top tower
Shots
is being attacked.
fired.
Haste.
How do you know? They're all kind of derpy, but you know, prove that you're higher. Get yourself out of it. Casual double ult that kills nothing. I don't know what the item on the cliff is. I saw it. I saw it too. I just never clicked on it. It's circlet. It's a circlet. I wonder if he replaces these tranks at any point. Alright, so next item. What do you think he's gonna get? You got more wards. That's good. Let's see. Does he have? Yeah, he has the most kills. He doesn't have the least stats, but no, it's 5 to a 4. Oh, these ward spots. I'm not gonna comment on the ward spots of where he chooses to put them. One like in the Roshan area would have been really good. I have to switch it to free camo. So like if he did one like here, or even like one over here, this one would be a little bit better. Okay, he does put one there anyway, but this one doesn't really help you out that much. If you wanted one to help you in this area, you can do one here, or like in here. If it's over here, it's, you know, gonna cover like this area. If it's a little more over here, then it's gonna cover like this. Drawing on the minimap. Circlet is now plus 500 damage. Oh, that's a great spot. Boop boop. Oh shit. Noob, that is a great resource.
Generation.
That is a great resource. I'm gonna bookmark that as well. Unstoppable. Boom! Down you go. Alright, so it looks like you're going butterfly next. Why aren't they just trying to finish off the axe? Oh boy. This is where you're watching. I wonder what is going on in your head. And we are still looking in this area. Okay. To free camera I go. Pudge is walking around. He's got a blink and... This is funny, seeing all the 4K HP Pudges. Man, I'd like to play Pudge on a 0 MMR account. You get 5 billion! You get 5 billion flesh heap. Because that's kind of what it feels like would happen. You're watching this Animage. Are you watching anything yet? Not really. Alright, so yeah, you're definitely committing to that butterfly. What does Nyx have? He's still trying to get his Dagon upgraded. Alright, good. Still farming. Zale Ghost. I don't want to play on any low MMR accounts. It would just be too sad. I got my RTS skills. Yeah, Nyx has Trank Boots. So he runs fast. That's all I got. He runs fast. Yay! What? These stream stats. Oh, it's because I never shut it off. Oh, okay, it's comparing yesterday to today. That's awesome.
Double kill. Killing spree.
I mean, the biggest thing that I can say here is you really need a BKB. It's a lot of damage that you'd be able to mitigate with the BKB.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Are you about to report someone else? Or are you just looking at everybody? I don't know. I think you already did your reporting earlier. Able to see Zeus walking around. I mean, so you're paying attention a little bit more now. I would say to definitely focus on checking what the enemy heroes have more often for their items. Check what your allies have for more items. Looking around the mini-map. Although you may be looking at the mini-map. Like, clicking through the mini-map and actually seeing and processing the information that is going on. Yeah, Mighty Mouse, it's a very good way to think about it.
Dire's middle tower taking
The net worth graph. It was all about that Radiant.
Let's get
It's all about that Radiant, flat Radiant.
Killing spree.
No troubles. This is rough. Okay, you're using your ultimate a lot prematurely, too. Comes the Bane ult. So Bane is Ags. So anytime someone tries to basic attack him, they get nightmares, so you have to just stun him out. And you not having BKB, you're just gonna get wrecked by everything else. Your team was just a little bit stupid there. Bane, Ags. If you're unfamiliar with what it does, anyone who tries physical attacking you as Bane while you are using your Aghanim's ultimate on the enemy will get hit with Nightmare. Reap, if we have enough people at the end of the stream, I will gladly do another in-house. Hopefully head with a 4K MMR person on each team or something comparable to that. Captain's draft, captain's mode, probably more captain's draft than anything, just to keep it a little bit more unique and keep it off meta.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Man, 9K.
Dire's middle tower taking damage.
Am doesn't even have his Battle Fury yet.
Killing spree. Own it.
The pain! Elder Titan gets a refresher.
Being attacked.
I didn't really look at his build. It's goofy. Whatever. No, not gonna do reverse captain's mode.
Dire's middle tower is now but a memory.
It's too much. Too much frustration, most likely, because there's way too many inexperienced characters in the game, especially since this is a primarily noob stream. Not to say that you're all noob, but, you know, everyone here is learning, so there's going to be a lot of people pulled in an extreme sense out of their comfort zone, where I would like to much more gradually have that happen. Oh man, he did that.
Radiant structures are